Okay, side issue here. Look. I'm not obsessed with people's sexual activities like a lot of folks that bash people that do that. My point is it's scientific, so the family is ended. Humanity is in a big petri dish being manipulated like animals. That's how the globalists see us. And as long as we play along with their little false reality, as long as we do that, they're going to keep winning. But here it is. Prostate cancer may be linked to birth control. How many videos and articles did I write years ago about this? Telling you about it, saying exactly that because I had the studies. There's nothing new about this. And then I've got the Detroit News saying, put it in the water to sterilize people. Countries with the highest numbers of women use oral contraceptives have the highest rates of death from prostate cancer, a new study finds. Yeah, why do they put you on Saul Palmetto and other things that boost testosterone? And then it's funny, when people start getting prostate cancer, they actually tell you to lower your testosterone, which some of the studies I've seen actually lowers the size of the prostate. It's the estrogens doing it. But again, they want feminized men. Now, despite the fact they're jacking your food and water, if you work out hard and do full body exercises, it will boost your testosterone. But more and more, I used to bash the police for taking testosterone and other anabolic steroids, mimickers. And then, of course, I've seen police chiefs admit that their forces are taking steroids and that they recommend it, like the police chief in Fort Worth last year said. But men have lower testosterone than they did just 20 years ago. So I understand why that's happening. I want to ask police, though, why I read articles about them busting other people taking steroids. I'm not saying you should take high levels of them. I mean, for somebody like me who has naturally high levels, I certainly don't need them. But for the average men out there that don't even act like women are all fired up on estrogen. Their brain picks it up and uses, pretty much similar to testosterone. The women are all wild and crazed. The men are all metrosexual, putting makeup on, running around enjoying themselves. And it's all part of a sickening chemical attack by the globalist on record. I have all the documents. Just all part of the total assault by these criminals. They learn not to just line you up and shoot you. They just jack your food and water and sneak off. Countries with the highest numbers of women use oral contraceptives have the highest rates of death from prostate cancer, a new study finds. Birth control pills contain a female hormone, estrogen, and in recent years, some experts have raised concerns about the presence of estrogen and similar compounds in foods in the water supply. The new study may raise those concerns further. The authors said the findings are preliminary. No, they're not. And it goes through the big studies from pill to prostate. Now, let me stop right there. If you go back to a study, in 2009, the EPA even did it in over 100 cities. Dallas was one of them, DFW. Well, the whole area was tested. They found levels of Ritalin, Prozac, and estrogen hundreds of times what could be in sewage runoff. And let me give you the big announcement from that data. Go look at that for yourself. And they admitted, these are strange findings. We're retesting. This is way off the chart. This isn't trace. And it's in the original precursor. Then they found it was generic fluoride-based chemical weapon Prozac. They're putting it in the water. Duh! And now that they know that we're exposing them, you notice they're now in the news announcing, oh, hey, we want to put Prozac and lithium and statins in the water. You see how that works? Again, I'm telling you. And I love the little servants of the system, because you work for the system low level, you think the system's good, and I'm a liar. Every time I'm at a rally and they got cops swarming around us, bugging their eyes out like it's evil to have the First Amendment, I tell them, I say, hey, guys, they put stuff in the water, and they'll start laughing. Sometimes they don't laugh. I'm like, hey, it's not funny. They do. See, it's not funny when you die 20 years early. It's not funny when a 25-year-old guy in tank maintenance or a 21-year-old dies of lung cancer at 25. It's not funny. Dying's not funny. I know they got you scared of IEDs and terrorists under every table, and the government's there to keep you safe from them. That's all for the martial law takeover. But you know what? Bring the martial law. Bring the hot war. I don't want that to happen, but if it's going to happen, whatever, because they're already killing us anyways. People ask, why do you have courage to fight them if they're such killers? Because I'm dead already. My children have no future if we don't beat these people. Because the globalists are saying their testing and their jacking of the water and the food and the vaccines has been moving too slowly. The globalists are saying they're getting ready to gear this sucker up. They got plans on the books to have drones fly over every city and spray bio or chemical weapons on us. That's even been leaked. I've shown you the documents. Oh, a government that did tens of thousands of tests all over the world, killing children and women and men, including healthy men, women, and children, just to create cadres of scientists they knew would follow orders. They wouldn't do something like that. These are nice people. No, these are demons who've been selected out of the ranks, who get off on the idea of, let me tell you something, there's nothing more devastating than nerds. Most of these people are highly intelligent, what you call nerds, who got picked on, who got turned down by women, and now they run giant computer companies, they run biotech companies, they've intermarried with elite families, and they enjoy killing you. They love that raw power. When they walk down the street, they look at what they've done to you. They look at your gray or greenish skin, you know, your unhealthy skin. They look at the death numbers, and it's a satisfaction for them. I see Bill Gates on the news when he's doing something or when he's giving a speech about reducing population. He puts his lower lip up at the top and does like a frown, but it's a satisfaction. You can see it in his eyes. In fact, I'll give you a Bill Gates look right now. It's an Emperor Palpatine look when Darth Vader finds out his wife's gotten killed and goes, no, and gets all sad. You look at Emperor Palpatine, played by that great actor, and he's getting off on it. Bill Gates constantly is going, I mean, it's, oh, boy, it's sick. I mean, he is up there just, I mean, just seething with superpower, folks. That's a super, super mega killer right there. And he enjoys it. He enjoys every minute of it. They enjoy it. Warren Buffett, Ted Turner gave that speech at the National Press Club. There was a National Press Club Awards dinner, and he said, we got to use the useless feeders and eaters. We need to get rid of 9% of them. And started using mild profanities, and then people were clapping. The so-called ruling class, even reporters who were nobodies in this system, they get off on it. It's like, I'm at the table, we're killing people. This is really cool. Legions of little chicken necks. The world isn't run by people with big muscles and swords anymore, and the biggest, meanest guy in the room is going to be king. It's run by the psych warfare, egghead, 200 IQ, eugenicist exterminist. And they're hardcore, and they mean business. You understand that? They mean business. They rule this earth. They've created a false reality, basically. And the final vestiges of the old system are fading away right now. They're bringing in the internet censorship worldwide every day, all over the world, Google, Twitter. They're all working with governments to shut down free speech. They're gearing up the massive prisons. They're getting ready for the giant new wars. They're rolling it all out for the global feast of wars, bioweapons, death, extermination. And all of the servants of the system. Most of the people that you see on the news serving it, they're all going to be dead too. And they're going to yell and scream and beg if this stuff gets released. And they're thinking about releasing it. That's why I'm not for a violent revolution against these guys, because they'll just release super bioweapons and go to their bunkers. You got to have an intellectual revolution throughout the system where their own technicians are aware of it. And we only got 10 years before everything's drone and robot, and the globalists are going to be able to hit a button even if the military says no. Now, if you're watching this later after all this unfolds, if we don't stop it, we tried our best. And it'll have to be an internal revolution within the globalists to turn this around. But I think we can probably still turn this around. All right, I'm going to shut up. Let's go to John in Wisconsin, then Tyler, Mike, Mark, and others. John in Wisconsin, go ahead. Listening on Roku. Or watching.
Thank you for putting up your Roku channel. I have yet to actually go and put in the code, but I'm glad you did that.
Well, then how are you listening on Roku then?
Well, actually, I'm listening on Shoutcast via Roku, and if anyone's not familiar with Roku and you want to dump your cable, and I don't work for Roku, I don't work for Netflix, but you can watch at least 3 of Alex's documentaries on Netflix. You can watch all sorts of stuff through YouTube, all just having a $35 a month DSL line. You go and get a $69 Roku box. You can watch on the new InfoWars channel. You can listen to Shoutcast. You can listen to TuneIn Radio. It's a great way. Every TV in your house becomes an internet radio. Big proponent of it, and I've talked to people in your office about it before. Even offered to send you one of my old Roku boxes, but I think you guys have a few around the shop now. I have a couple of questions for you on some research that I have not been able to find in the past. But just to preface that, I do have full spectrum awareness and total information analysis abilities, and I think every one of your listeners, either new or old, can get to that point just doing a little research on their own, even if they're a new listener.
It's like a jigsaw puzzle that has 80% of the pieces in. It gets real simple. And and once you realize what they're doing, you see them all over the place, and you see the power trips they're on. But go ahead and ask me the questions, the stuff you can't find.
Yeah, and also I just want to say that I have 40-plus employees. I have purchased, I just got a shipment of 200 of your Citizens Rule books a few weeks back. I got all of your DVDs in the package special, and now I kind of lend them out. They're just right on the box. And anyway, and also Ben Fuchs has really helped my family in their nutritional endeavors as well. My questions actually are, which FBI or CIA official was it that said most conspiracies are real? I can't find that. Do you remember that?
I don't remember saying that.
Okay. I thought maybe it was...
What was the exact quote?
I thought it was most conspiracies, like basically he was saying that he thought his time was limited, and I don't know if it was the midnight canoeist that got waxed from the CIA or if it was Gunderson. Said most conspiracies, believe it or not, are real.
No, I do remember a similar quote by, was it Casey? Who was the guy that drowned in the canoe, the kayak? I've talked to folks that knew him, and he had been blowing the whistle on stuff. He was reportedly the guy that leaked that FLIR footage of him killing Branch Davidians. Reportedly, some folks didn't like that. I'm going from memory here. I'll have to pull it up. What was the other question?
That was William Colby. Colby,
yeah.
CIA.
Colby.
Who was found, they ruled it an accident after canoeing at midnight with half of his pajamas on and food burning on the stove. Anyway, then there was another question on, is there a comprehensive list of all of the bullet points of watch points put out by DHS, FBI, whatever, ADL or MIAC reports?
No, all they do is they have the ADL mainly in Southern Poverty Law Center write it. I mean, if you look, it's the same text word for word that's in their public reports. They just put out even more demonization privately of the veterans, gun owners, libertarians, conservatives. I mean, if you don't like the Federal Reserve, they're preparing police to arrest you. I mean, it's just open treason by the foreign banks because they're criminals. They've got to get the police lined up against real Americans that realize there's been a hijacking of the country. But basically, there are hundreds of the FBI DHS reports, and now they're pretty much public. I mean, we just showed several dozen of them the other night on TV that are on the FBI's own website, and everything is demonized. If you have a cell phone, if you wear blue jeans, if you use AOL or Comcast, if you buy coffee with cash, if you say hi to a police officer, everything is terror, so everyone is guilty. So the police run around and storekeepers in just a paranoid daze, afraid of everyone, but one group is not listed. The federal government, who gets the